is the Maserati MC Stradale. And honestly, I think this is the only Maserati that you should buy in the modern era. So guys, this is the Maserati MC Stradale, which is the most special version of the first generation Gran Turismo. And as you can see, with the Maserati Trident that's been embedded into the wheel, it really is a much more special looking car, especially with these wider tires, with the Pirelli P0 Corsa tires, which are more track focused and are more sport oriented than the already hardcore Gran Turismo. And as you can see over here with the MC Stradale name, that means that it's a much more hardcore, much more different car, such as much of the carbon fiber going around here, as you can see with the little spoiler, the diffuser with the two exhaust pipes over there, and much of the design has been changed a tiny bit, but it's very subtle details that only a majority of us, or only a handful of us, would honestly get to know. It even has carbon ceramic brakes, as you can see over there, because it is a Stradale version, and it means that it's a much more sportier, much more lively. And I do gotta agree, it is a much more better looking car. You know, with the old Gran Turismo, it did look like a really, really old car. I mean, it came out for the 2007 model year, and it lasted a very, very long time, and it just was lasting and was going on for a very long time, and the design just started to get old, and I got so tired of it that even seeing one today, although it does sound nice, it does sound amazing, which you guys will hear in a minute, I just prefer the Stradale version. And knowing that there were not many of these and not many reviews of these, it really is a much more special hardcore car, even with the carbon fiber going right over there. And it is a just much more special looking car. You know, over this would honestly be the only Maserati that I would honestly buy in the modern era. The MC20 is still kind of a Maserati that I would think about, but I would rather just buy a 488 or something in the caliber of that. So now let's actually head inside to talk about the interior.
Okay guys, we are sat inside the MC Stradale. First thing to say about it is these seats are actually super comfortable. You can see option on the car here. We have the carbon bucket seats. That was option with the Maserati logo embedded in the seat there. You have some very basic stitching going along here with some leather finishing on the sides, but majority of it is Alcantara and obviously carbon fiber. And I must say, it actually is super comfortable. Weirdly enough, they hold you really well, but at the same time, they don't feel like they're pushing your back in any weird position that gets uncomfortable. So they really do feel like superb quality, superb built seats. And I must say, they are almost like the Ferrari bucket seats in many ways. Heading over to the steering wheel here, you can see there's some nice Alcantara with some leather finishing over here. And then you have all of your controls. Obviously, you've got your call, your speaker assist, your source, some basic buttons here. I must say, this I can see resemblance in Fiat. I cannot lie to you guys, I can see a bit of resemblance in there. And I'm just going off the fact that this is the top of the range, performance-based car, and everything is done for weight saving. So if you look at these pedals, these are very plasticky pedals, and these stalks look like they're exactly from a Fiat 500, but that's not a bad thing. I'm not going to complain. I know some of you guys are going to get really touched by the things that we say about this car, but I can tell you we do love the car, even though there's a lot of this to talk about. You have some really nice leather finishing over here, as well as more Alcantara, which you'll see running through the car a lot. There's a lot of Alcantara in this car. So quickly, I just want to show you guys a bit about the infotainment system, which may be the slowest starting up infotainment in the world. I mean, you can see we switched it on. Oh, it actually switched on fast. Usually it had a whole display come up of the Maserati badge, and we timed it to be just under a minute of waiting for the screen to actually load. And when you look at the screen, these graphics are from like a PlayStation 2 or something. I mean, it is not the newest of technology in this car, and nor is it really fast. But at the same time, you don't really use the car for all of that. I'm going to leave a bit of the infotainment system so that Eugene can speak more on it. But coming to the front here, this is still really nice. Obviously, you still got the Maserati logo in there, showing the speedometer going to 320. And you can rev to 8,000 RPM nearly with this naturally aspirated V8 that's headed up front right there. So from the driver's side of the car, you've got more than enough headroom. You've got a large headroom in this car. You can fit easily. If you're 6 foot plus, you'll fit easily, fit really comfortably in the seats. And the build of this car is very improved to what Maserati was. I mean, again, you can see the Alcantara with a nice stitching here, more leather finishing running over there. And even on the brake pedal, I don't know if you guys can see properly, there's the Maserati symbol as well. So let's head to Eugene's side of things to see what he thinks about the MC Stradale inside.
Okay guys, so my thoughts of the inside of the MC Stradale is very nice. You got the Alcantara right here, you got the MC Stradale badge. That is very, very nice, makes it very, very special. You know, much of leather. And of course you have the Maserati clock. That's always a nice thing to have in a car. It makes it feel like it's more special, much more premium. I don't have much to say about the infotainment system because it is a very old Fiat Chrysler system and it's not really that responsive and not really that good. But overall, in general, it's a very nice place to sit. The seats are very comfortable. And yeah, there's not really much else to say. And of course, you have the nice wing mirrors that are showing. And of course, you have a little bit of carbon fiber that just shows. So now let's actually just head into the back to see maybe how practical it is.
We are now in the back, or I should say I am now in the back of the Maserati MC Stradale. And first I want to say, just look how beautiful this weave on the carbon buckets are. Obviously Sparker race carbon bucket seats, very much like the older style Ferraris when you could option the carbon buckets. But coming to the back end, as you can see, there is not much headroom unless you sit like this, and then you need a 4-foot passenger or 4-foot driver to be driving the car to actually be comfortable in the back end. I mean, I'm around about 5'7", so I'm a pretty average height. Many people even say that I'm quite short, and I can't fit anywhere near in this car in the back end regarding height. In terms of legroom, we did test it out. When Eugene put the seat in his comfortable driving position, I had more than enough legroom in the back. So legroom is okay, and the back seats are generally actually quite comfortable. I mean, you can see they finished off with a really nice Alcantara with nice leather and stitching as well. But a quick fact that I don't think you guys know, and we definitely didn't know, is this. I can take the seats out. Literally, I could take the whole seat with me and all this leather option, and then you just don't have back seats. So Maserati really went through the best that they could to try and weight save on this car, even taking out like a couple grams of leather seats. So let's head to the powerhouse of the car in the front. Okay guys, while heading to the front, we thought we'd just show you, let's see if you guys could see where the actual hatch for the front bonnet is. I mean, we struggled to find it, and we are car guys. But if you come down by the brake and look at this tiny little badge over here in the far corner, that is actually the hatch to open up the front bonnet. So let's head and see what the engine's all about. We are now at the front end of the Maserati MC Stradale, which is quite tricky to say these days because you immediately think MC20 when you think about MC. But heading underneath the bonnet, this car has a 4.7 litre naturally aspirated V8 pushing 335 kilowatts, so more or less 450 horsepower, and 510 newton meters through a trans-axle 6-speed MC race gearbox, very similar to the Ferrari F1 gearbox, and that all goes to the rear end, pushing this car to 100 kilometers an hour in around about 4.5 seconds. This is possibly one of the best sounding V8s ever made. And you can argue with me all about your M cars and C63s, and they all sound lovely. But something about an Italian-based, naturally aspirated, high-revving V8, such as this, or the sister car, the 430 inside there, is just something special. So, let's head to the back, see how practical the car is, and then let you guys hear what this beauty sounds like.
Okay guys, so now that we're actually at the rear end of this car, we're going to see how practical it is. Now, it's terrible. This is probably one of the worst areas that you're going to spend time in this car or even put stuff in this car. Maybe the only thing I would put is shopping, a tiny bag, and that's about it. But because it is a race car and it is a race car for the road that you can take on the track, they didn't really focus much on practicality sense. But now, because this is so terrible, let's actually head to the engine note, because that 4.7 litre naturally aspirated V8 sounds amazing. Okay guys, so now that we reached the end of this wonderful review, as we always say, what do we think about it? Styling wise, it is so beautiful. I think this is the only GT Maserati that I would honestly buy. Probably the only Maserati I would buy, because the Levante is a bit of a cheap feeling car. The Ghibli is very old today, and much of their other products, except for maybe the MC20, is a bit outdated and just feels a bit old. But this, although it is an older car, It sounds amazing. I'm probably sure you heard that already. It looks amazing. Maybe in the future we might just drive it. Just stay tuned. And as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also thank you again to Ayob Motors over here in Johannesburg for allowing us to come and review this car, because this is probably the only MC Stradale that is for sale online right now. So if you want to check that out, make sure you click the links down below. And as always, we shall see you for the next one. Bye bye.